Hi. Hopefully, can you guys hear me? Let's see. There you are. There you are. Good day. So excited to be here. I wanted to share a message that I actually started my day speaking and just an opportunity to teach again the Harvest Mastermind group of women that just blow my mind on a consecutive basis, not only because of what they do with their masterful business minds, but also what they do in their home and in their heart set and what they're doing for the kingdom every single day. And nobody has it just right. Nobody has it perfect. We know this without a shadow of a doubt that there is only one perfect one who has ever walked the earth and that we can literally follow in suit every single day. And yet, sometimes it feels hard, and sometimes we let others supersede that image, that ideation of what it is that we can do on a daily basis. So what I want to talk to you about is this differentiating factor between emulation and imitation. Actually, Alexander Gonzalez, who you guys might know, who I love and have had the opportunity to share the stage with multiple times in the past year and will again this year, both with the Embrace Your Ambition and the Grow for God conference. He was talking about influence this morning, and ironically, and yet not ironically at all, because God is before us in every conversation, on my Peloton and Preach, and also on my quiet time earlier before the Peloton, God was talking to me about influence, and he was talking to me about who we listen to and how we actually activate and who our goal models are, right? Not role models. There's people who are role models and they're great, and yet they really don't emulate every shape, form, facet that you would want them to, other than if you're following Jesus, which is the goal, right? As a faith-founded entrepreneur, as a founded kingdom mover shaker, you are trying to do, right? And yet trying is a lack. It's an apathetic lens. And so I want you to activate on a consistent basis, not by trying, but by doing. And I want you to be really representing who it is that you're trying and am doing today to be, right? And to shift our words, to shift our energy, to shift our motivation towards, not by trying to emulate the one person, but by trying to emulate the multiple. What do I mean by this? A goal model. Choose one thing about that person, because we often put on a pedestal false idols, false representations of who we want to be, right? I want to be like Oprah, they say. I want to be like Tony Robbins, they say. I want to be like fill in the blank, they say. And yet at the end of the day, they feel less than, mediocre, unaccomplished, unattainable, because they feel so far away, and they should. The only they you want to really be in tandem with is the Holy Spirit, is Jesus himself. And yet, it doesn't mean that what they are doing is wrong or not meant for you. But when you parallel a goal model to not just the SMART goal, but my phraseology of the smartest goal, connected to the statement that I always say, and we know it's not about perfectionism, we know it's about progression, but the book reads, I can't remember which chapter I have this in, but that permanent progression, nope, that's not it at all. Shoot, I just had it. I always do this. Persistent progression makes permanent. Persistent progression makes permanent, right? And so you have to be consistent. You've heard this before. But progression is not like tomorrow you will because that person showed you how to do it and here's the blueprint to your business. I think we forget about that a lot of times. I think we think that because their highlight reel showcases something, that that's the way that we need to activate. But emulation versus imitation are different. You can imitate it all day long, and yet it's not who you are or how you are fashioned to be. SMART goal, which is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely, has the EST, the evaluate your circumstances, evaluate the season that you're in, evaluate your energy levels. That's what we were just talking about on the Harvest Mastermind. We are going over, as a part of the curriculum, question by question, the Female Entrepreneur Playbook, which I had the gift of co-authoring and being a bestseller in. So much fun, but we're doing it in a way that's different than what most people imitate. Read the book and have the book club. How about not? How about piecemeal the book and have the components that seep into your soul and your system associated to the curriculum for such a time as this. So you evaluate and then you share. S is for sharing. If you have a goal, you want to share it, you want to broadcast it. Don't be secretive about the goal. I did this the wrong way for a long time in business, and I feel like had I been more open, God would have had more opportunity to speak to me in my own goals and visions. But I was so safe harnessed into what my idea was that I actually stagnated myself as a whole. So the last one is T in the smartest goal, which is tailor-made. This is all in my book, so if you want to read more of it, you can. A lot of people think that the book is just a self-help or a testimonial, but there's also some infused business knowledge in there. But really, this is associated to who God made you to be, different than every other person. And so we set up goal models as my intent to share, something I taught them about today in the mastermind. Associated to every single goal, there should be a different person, because nobody gets it just right, but they do the thing, maybe the one thing, maybe the two things, maybe the three things really, really well. Persistent progress makes permanent. And so emulating is doing it on your own terms versus imitating, which is doing it on their terms, and you likely will fall short because you are tailor-made to do exactly what God fashioned you to do, not exactly what God fashioned them to do. So applaud, celebrate, give them kudos, and emulate some of the pieces of their influence. But remember, the only one you truly want to be in tandem with is Him. And so I hope this meets you wherever you are in your business. I know it's the new year and everybody's got all of these goals, but are they the smartest goals for you? Or are they simply goals because somebody else had them? Do you want to be a best-selling author and be a part of the anthology that we just launched? Maybe you do, and we would love to chat, but that doesn't mean that it's made for you in this season. Maybe when you evaluate your time, you don't have the capability of doing that. Maybe when you evaluate your capabilities, maybe writing's not in your zone of genius and you need a ghostwriter, right? You have to always be processing. And processing is a part of that persistent progression. Have you asked God about it? Have you presented it to Him for a different outcome, not their outcome? What looks like a win might have been a loss, even if they're presenting it as a win. It's a highlight reel. You've got to remember this. Perfectionism is not the answer. Progression is the answer. And the Harvest Mastermind is showing that every single time we meet. This month alone, we worked on goals, but associated to the goal master, associated to KPIs, which are their key performance indicators, associated to their habit tracking and how they're actually establishing this not only for themselves, but for their teams. And what CRM and time management tools are they using? Golly, so much in 1 month, only in 3 sessions. So if you're looking to take your business and your goals to the next level, to really establish full growth and scalability, to systemize and automize what it is that God has given you gifted vision to, so that you can show up for your clients or your community or your family or even yourself in a massive abundance, prosperous way. That's what God has for you. That's what He wants for you every single day. And I want to help you get there. I always speak from my testimony, because otherwise I'd be imitating somebody else's story, and that's not my heart for you, and that's surely not my heart for myself. And so I tell you the pitfalls. I tell you the things that distract me. I tell you the things that get in my way and the roadblocks, just like I did in the book when they asked. I was honest. And yet at the same time, I'm going to share with you what works. And I'm going to give you the tools and methodology for you to apply in your own tailor-made way. There's lots going on in the back of Fit and Faith Media. If you have never been ingrained in what it is that we do, there are so many methods for you to get involved. You can listen to the podcast at the top end. You can download some of the freebies. Sure, this is a part of the hourglass that we've created for you to come into community with us. But the Harvest Mastermind, that's the sweetest deal. Not only do you get to come and have this intimate time, you get to be associated to the experts that have helped me get to where we are today as a team, and also from an intimate perspective of development. And then additionally, you get to come to our retreats and our conferences It's basically the all-in-one kit and caboodle. You want to be a part of it. We've got a couple of seats left. I only want that to be an intimate group, an intimate table with intention. I want everyone to be heard. And people will say this, coaches will say this as a way to say, like, I only have 2 people because I wanted it to be intimate. Love that. However, we know that they want to serve the masses. But I really did intentionally do this so that everyone can be seen, heard, and we can get into the granular of their business and we can support and pray for one another. And so it's been a really special kickoff to the Harvest Mastermind. I'll link it here if you guys haven't heard about it. But regardless, so proud of these women for already activating, for having goal models associated to their smartest goals, and for establishing their KPIs right out the gate. So by the end of 2022, they actually have an understanding of their numbers. And if numbers are something that's hard for you, if numbers are something that like, oh, they make you cringe, or you don't like it, or you don't even know what your conversion rates or open rates or click-through rates or any of those things are, I'm going to be teaching that in the month of February for our masterclass because there was so much great feedback about it. And so keep your eyes peeled to join that. And yeah, I love you guys. I hope you're having an amazing start to your week. I know I am, and I'm thankful for all of the people who have been a part of the conversation just today. And it's only 1:48. I still got things to do, people to see, podcasts to have. So I hope you guys will see us here in just a little bit. I have an amazing podcast with Tiffany and Tim. Yes, Tim's story. Yes, Tiffany's last name is eluding me, but Gals That Brunch is her business name. And she was actually from Virginia Beach, and so it's going to be really fun to see her vision come to life in our conversation and see what she's got going on now, because I know she's associated to some incredible goal models, as she is one herself. So love you guys. Chat soon. Drop a line if you have any questions.